Hola. So today we're going to be learning how to use subjunctive with adjectives in their sentences. So first one says, Yo quiero comprar una casa que tenga dos cocinas. In English I translated it and said, I want to buy a house with two kitchens. So una indicates to use subjunctive in the situation. And then also you know it's subjunctive because it's an uncertain sentence. So it's I want to buy a house, not the house with two kitchens. So since it's a, not the, you change tener to tenga because it's subjunctive. Second one says, Felipe quiere conocer una persona que hable italiano. So it says Felipe wants to meet someone who speaks Italian. Felipe doesn't have a certain person in mind, but it can be anybody as long as they speak Italian. So also the una indicates subjunctive, but you know it's subjunctive because it's an uncertain sentence. So you turn hablar to hable. The third one says Raquel quiere estudiar en una universidad que esté cerca de su casa. So una indicates subjunctive, and also in English it says Rachel wants to study at a university that's close to her house. So she doesn't have a certain university in mind. All she knows is that it has to be close to her house. She doesn't want to go to the University of Michigan or the university. She just knows that she wants to go to a university that's close to her house. So the uncertainty and una indicates subjunctive, so it's estar turns into este. Fourth says, Nosotros buscamos un carro que no necesite gasolina. So in English it says, we are looking to buy a car that does not need gasoline. So, indicates subjunctive because it's not the car, it's a car. And also, the uncertainty of the sentence, once again, indicates subjunctive because they're not looking for a certain car. They want to buy a car. It doesn't matter what certain car it is, as long as it doesn't need gasoline. So you turn necesitar to necesite. The last one says, Ellos quieren ir a un país que no haga frío. So, they want to go to a country that is cold. They don't want to go to France because it's cold. They don't want to go to the country because it's cold. They want to go to a country because it's cold. So, indicates subjunctive and the uncertainty of the sentence because they're not certain on what country it is. As long as it's cold, they'll be happy. So, they don't want to go to this country because it's cold or that or the. They want to go to a country that is cold because that's what they're looking for. So, hacer because it's an irregular turns into haga because it needs subjunctive. So all five of these sentences need subjunctive because they're uncertain sentences and because they all indicate subjunctive. The un or una, and they're all adjectives using subjunctive. And we're in a rush, but that's the lesson for the day.
Hola, me llamo Kendall Frown. One thing to know about subjunctive and adjective clauses is that not all clauses will need subjunctive. This is an explanation followed by some sentences on why subjunctive is not needed. Oscar visitar solamente tiendas que venden camisetas de Michigan State. Solamente, meaning only, implies certainty, causing vender to be indicative. Yo quiero hablar con la chica que habla francés. La, implying certainty to la chica, is changing hablar to indicative. Victoria visita la tienda que tiene camisetas de Michigan State. La, also implying certainty, changes tener to the indicative tense. Solamente, la, and la all make the tense indicative because it is referring to a specific person, place, or thing. If you know, in fact, that the item exists, then subjunctive is not necessary. Thank you for listening. Adios.
Hola, me llamo Cam. These are two warnings for subjunctive with adjective clauses. The first is if the adjective clause refers to a specific person, place, thing, or idea, we don't need subjunctive. Number two is if the adjective clause refers to a person, place, thing, or idea that does not exist, whose existence is uncertain or indefined, the subjunctive is needed. In the second situation, the subjunctive is needed because these adjective clauses are not a known fact. Even if it's a fact that they don't exist, the subjunctive is needed. Here's the explanation of K. In English, K would mean that for these subjunctive sentences. So the sentence would be, I want to buy a house that has 3 pools. In Spanish, it would be, Yo quiero comprar una casa que tenga 3 piscinas. Que is that, so it would be, I want to buy the house that has 3 pools. In this sentence, if we change a to the, which would change una to la in the Spanish form, then subjunctive would not be needed. It would not be needed because we know that the house does exist because it refers to a house as opposed to, or it refers to the house as opposed to a house. In the first sentence, a implies that the existence of the house is uncertain, but then once we change it to the, it implies that the existence of the house is there, it is real. So then we would not use subjunctive when the is present.